Je Judan Zoji Chona Shanja Pada Dagi Chishe Jeve Zom Bola Benja Zane Gaba Shu Sanje Judan Zoji Chona Shanja Pada Dagi Shinto Jeve Zom Bola Benja Zane Gaba Shu Sanje Judan Zoji Shanja Pada Dagi Chishe Jeve Zom Bola Benja Zane Hey, good evening. Not raining. Not raining.
No, it's just raining a lot.
Raining a lot. No, no. Okay.
It's a hot rain.
Good evening, guys. How are you? Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Geshe.
Good evening, Geshe.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening, Geshe.
Good evening, Geshe.
Good evening,
evening.
Geshe.
Okay. How's last week? The event, teachings. Yes, everyone. Good. Well, you learn something?
I'll never forget the fourth.
You fail. Also, you guys fail something? Do you come then?
Like, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you get his questions?
What I liked is he said, like, how long can you, like, be good? And I said, okay, 15 minutes, no problem. No, but that was a good way to do it mentally, like, extend the time where you don't break any vows or do any, like, even have, like, a bad thought. It's a good exercise.
Excellent. Do you the exercise you did? Yeah. When?
I mean,
No, after he taught it, when you did this.
well, it was like 2 hours at a time.
What day?
Like the next day.
Sure.
It was easy to do because I didn't do anything.
Who did? The guy did? He just thought this good idea.
I wasn't here second day.
Oh, you know all that?
Was it on the second day or first day?
The first day, right?
That he was saying about the purification, and we made
Yeah.
Oh,
the promise, yeah, how long?
Yeah, that was on second day or first day?
First day. You were here.
That was on the first day, no?
Nobody asked questions.
No. He said, how you
No, he asked question.
Oh, he asked questions.
Rinpoche said one out of the four.
Oh, I wasn't there.
Oh, you weren't there? No, okay.
Marx, looking for the idea, commandment, get them, non-virtuous action. 1 year too long, 1 month too long, 2 hours good. But you said this good idea, or you did the next day?
I tried not to think any negativity, like, because in action, and I don't do that much anyway, I'm boring, but it was a good mental exercise not to have any afflictive emotion or anything that would generate an afflictive emotion.
Yes.
Great. I don't know if I'm like thinking more strictly, but it seems like it's hard to go more than a few minutes without creating any negative karma.
Yeah, it's very easy to do.
I think
Into what?
To think something like
Yeah.
a little bit of anger.
Yeah, negative comes.
Yeah, so easy to have just a small negative karma.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't do it in traffic.
But in the context of the purification process, if you're doing the 4 component powers and then you make that resolve at the end, it's for a very specific non-virtue.
Exactly, yeah.
So you can just say, I will not do that. And that's why I usually do my purification at night, because then I can
Yeah.
go to bed and I won't do it. I'll say, I'll for 8 hours while I sleep.
Good, smart. How about you guys? Hey, how are you? Are you the Taiwan?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in Taiwan.
Why? You in the morning?
Yes, 7 a.m.
Is your mom already get up?
Yeah, she's sitting in front of my PC.
I'm
but,
here.
Yeah, she's here.
You couldn't see me because I need to see the computer, so. No.
Yeah, we have this. See,
Yeah.
This is class,
Yeah, so
and this is textbook.
yeah, so he helped me to set up, like really good technician.
And we have prayer over there.
Prayer over there, so that's a surrounding by tests and screen. Hi, everyone.
Okay, good.
I think what Rinpoche tried to teach them, it's very good to reflect, but it's very hard to do. But at least then you get awareness, you're aware when you got some like angry or negative coming up, and then you just say, oh, okay, and you're aware, and then you remind yourself. So I think it's good to practice. Yeah. What about you?
Anyway, it's wonderful and wonderful. I think we are very good event. I think through this, you guys, physically, mentally, financially, everyone sport. Through, I think a lot benefit a lot of people. A lot of people get impressed with Dharma. It is wonderful. Therefore, this is one of the results. We have community. Through the community, we can do a lot of things. We cannot do it by one person. Therefore, you guys are very hardworking. Everyone very happy. Thank you also. Which also very happy. You also say, this is very wonderful to all different kind of people, especially the Western, Tibetan, mixing together. They're very happy. Therefore, Western have a very good patient. Tibetan is not very, that's not stuck or not very perfect. Also, Tibetan is very patient. Western here, white is white, black is black. Just they're also very happy. Share any attendance, so everyone very happy. Therefore, sure we create a lot of merit. And also, I think we do a lot of physically very good. Then this usually I think today usually I already talk about Tara. We pray all the time Tara. I have very strong confidence for Tara to obviously get a lot of blessings, physical things. When we have the day before we start, we preparing outside tent. Then we have to put also Tara. I did this small one Tara Tanga. Then future His Holiness and Buddha, we have big ones, we don't have small ones. I just thought that. Then the Tibetan public came. They said, oh, we have one Tanga, we bring. They want Tanga, big one. It's okay, they will bring after they will bring back home, right? So good to have also good, like, same size Tanga like Buddha. But you give the Tanga for us. See? Is it okay? The big one. No, you can see the big one. Yeah. I didn't ask. This is for my belief. This is also Tara's.
Realization. What under realization? Top one. What under top one? 저랑 너를 지나가야 돼.
무릎 남았어.
what is it? Top one.
무릎 떠가는 말이야.
지나가다. 나를 지나가야 돼.
무릎 더 주세요. 무릎 나셔야 돼. 지금 나셔야 돼.
뭐도 통수.
뭐란 말이야. gift,
뭐한테는 똑바로다.
우리들
뭐 두 봤을 때는.
내가
뭐,
주셔도 봐셔야
뭐.
중앙도 무릎 나오셨어.
모르나서 뭐.
아니,
지나가.
질문 나오셔. 년반 나오셔요. 년반. 더 가게 전에 년반 나오셔. 근데 그러면 년반에 안한테니까 나 있지 이것을.
모르 내가 블레싱 나오거든요. 블레싱 나온다. 대야 쇼.
그래.
모르는 맞아 모르는데 모르는 똑바로 그러다 거든. 지금 뭐두 봤어 그래. 뭐는 무슨 두 봐.
아니, 지나가.
저런 블레싱. So like usually we call it realization. So it's you got the realization. That's a little bit high, right? So the teacher give you the teaching, and then you do the practice, and then you gain the realization. But that realization came through the teaching, and then the teaching came from the teacher. So you say, oh, the teacher gave you the realization. So it's like now in another word, like a blessing. So that's his blessing means like that realization that you have is his blessing. It's through his blessing that you are able to get the realization. So we use the same word. For modum actually means the realization. So Geshe said, no, it's not a blessing, but that's the same way.
Anyway, whatever this Tara gift for us, big things.
So it's a blessing.
Okay? Therefore, what Tara, I believe like that way. 그래, 근데 somebody 소소를
통문용어로도 더 많이 물었어요. 어제는 똑바로 할것 같아요.
두모 많이 만들까?
더 많이 물었어요. 여러다.
일단 두모 가면 돌아요. 두모
네, 저 생각도 괜찮다. 똑바로 할것 같아요.
두모 많이 만들다 또 이제 두모 많이 두모 뭐 담배가 또 언제 아이거든. 지도적인 진업에 모두 인사와이나 소소를 대화기에 팬으로 간다.
So if you think that this is the blessing of the Dharma, then it helps to gain more respect or faith in Dharma.
제가 okay like that. Anyway, we have the what Tara. Okay. Anyway, it was very good. Everyone hard working to physically, mentally, financially for everywhere. Therefore, good job. Which is happy. Things go well. Us, not people get that benefit. Therefore, you all have to create a lot of merits. Okay. This is the last week, and now we're going to different section. We're looking at the text today. Geshe knows the other chin man. Geshe magoro check it man.
네, 나다.
They should have said.
아니, 왜? 이런 경우는 지금 뭐 지금 말아.
Only no, can't tell them.
왜?
They know. You might get to you. Enjoy that you. Get a book in you.
그래서 뭐
Let it change it.
너가
Give it to you.
변을 열라. 안돼.
Take it to
그러네.
네.
내는 다 땄어.
you.
내는 요청이.
Geshe magoro check it in. 이게 됐는데.
왜?
야.
나다.
Okay, anyway.
거기 교조는 근데 대화들은 나와있더라. 너는 대화를 교조로 그런 줄 알았어.
대한 중에 되면 무슨 해가지고. 어제 중에들은 말 담마셔야 되고 자잖아요. 가만둬서.
제도 제조라.
그때 옛날에 했잖아요. 무슨 말? 또
그렇죠.
신경
다시 나가서
신경 내가 말. 나한테 도과해서 얘나만 나와서. 그래.
그래, 계신도 사는데.
이 시대에
이래 알아다 그런 게 가장 때문에도
네 영향이 줘야 된다고 해요.
이나한테 내가 양편이라도 뺀줘야 근데 이제 라이브러리 오브 티베탄 워크는 아까서 이 단서라 이게 좀 뺀줘 알아. 내려져. 버든 자리는 그래.
이거 맞으니까 되게
너무 잘하다. 좀 네, 자가라 패시 잘돼. 패시 잘다. 근데 이나한테 잘래. 이거 인가다. 아무래도 맞을 거네. 이거
맞아요.
얘는 되면 알아? Where do you see that the date of the publication? Oh, it's here. Okay. Huh? No. First print. First print in 1979. I'm looking at this book as a reference, for the teaching, letter, Nagarjuna's letter to a friend. But another one.
가시오. 대인들의
다들 본 적이 다들 율비도 걸었다. 다들 나는 거란다 그런 게다 쳐보지라.
여제다 고도 보려. 지금도 여러 총가 이놈이.
지금 오늘 영화. 그래도 지도 문제도 영어로 이제 된다.
곧 가도 돼.
아, 왜?
가도 안 돼.
얘는 공부도 써.
고마도 가도 안 돼. 뭐 사람인지 나지 모르고.
First sentence of the first verse.
Well, there's some controversial about this book, so we're not sure if we're going to use this or not, because the translator is the translator by Geshe Lawson Tarchik, so it's one of the Geshe, who was worshiping the protector that was against His Holiness. So I didn't realize about that. Geshe just mentioned that he might be one of them. And he is, if that's the one, Geshe Michael Roach teacher, right?
Sandra, I don't think he was against His Holiness. No, he's from Library of Tibetan Works and Archives. Mahayana Sutra and Tantra Center.
That was before though.
What?
That was before His Holiness protested against that, This is like 1979. At that time, maybe His Holiness himself was also.
Yeah.
But later, later when His Holiness stopped it, then he is one of those who went against that. So.
네, 제가 가서 있다고 가서 저시면 뭐로 이제 대통사고 말이지.
So because there's some kind of controversial like that, then maybe Geshe is saying that you better not use it.
Yeah. 도발하는 미까지 도발하네요.
So just because people might have this suspicious thought about it. So
I just mentioned that we use the long room Chenmo's. We use his translation of the some of the classmates were using his translation of Liberation in the Palm.
Oh, which one? The one that we're using?
Well, no, it's a different publication. Like it's published by Mahayana Sutra and Tantra Press, but it's widely used. We use it. Some of us use it. We have it in our library.
Are you talking about Damcho? Is it Geshe Kaosang? Yeah, so?
No.
No, definitely yes.
That's the one you don't want, right?
That one, yes, definitely not. But even this one, this is called Geshe Losam Tarchin.
Oh. So there is
the teacher from New Jersey Center.
Oh.
He was asked by His Holiness to assume a teaching role. That's what it says in the translation introduction.
Yeah, this was a long time ago, though, Deborah. Yes, at that time, yeah, they didn't have problem. But later, when His Holiness advised to stop, then he didn't stop. That's all.
Okay.
There is one that's translated by Alexander Berzin.
Alexander, yeah.
Alexander Berzin. Is that one okay?
We can use Geshe Zobas.
Geshe Zoba. Oh.
One Deborah mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like $50 each for one copy, so it's quite expensive. It just recently published.
It's the best to spend your money.
Best way to spend money.
One penny, how much you spend? This is a
35, not bad.
25.
Okay. Now you can turn into a discussion. Okay. who's there, don't send email each other over that. Stop the gossip, just stop this text. We are not there, we don't want discussion. You can use the Vishwabhas, is the one of the most scholars, then who don't have enough say, money, then we can look for sponsor for that. It's okay. You know what to confuse or thought, maybe that. Okay. This is one he died. Not against to, but he's good to not that he for the one of the person to not stop until he died. Okay. This is finish that section. Order who's going to order to maybe about like 10 books to each of us. It gives that. Okay, someone can order, someone can buy that. They've got on. No, one end $40, $50, big money. But second is nobody have. Today, can you email? Today, mother can you? Did you hear that? Is that there no APM? Do you have any list for the books?
Excuse me, Geshe?
There are no any APM. APM, do you have nothing in their books?
Is there a book, a translation of this letter to a friend used by FPMD?
There might be an online file, a PDF, I'm not sure. It might be the one that was mentioned earlier, Alex Berzin's. I can look and.
Is that the one that FPMD uses?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, if you can find that out, then we can use that. Then it will be saved.
Yeah, basically, you need to before start teaching 2 weeks we are plan. Need to read book to get ready. Now go to online. Oh, how about that book? How about that book is which it shows not really interest.
So Geshe said we had 2 weeks to get ready with the books, but nobody really paid attention. So I mentioned, maybe we can use this book because this is cheap and also it's good translation. But then just now Geshe mentioned about this Geshe who is worshiping the protector and didn't stop when His Holiness advised to stop. So it's kind of against His Holiness going against His Holiness. So that's why we better not use it. So now to look for something new, and if there is one that FPMD uses, then maybe that will be safe to use. If not, then we can go with the Geshe Zopas.
Okay.
And Geshe Zopa is one of the very respected teacher, also very close to His Holiness. So there's no problem using that. And he said money should not be a problem.
Okay. This I'm sure everyone spend a good restaurant, right? It's just $150. One is big money, but not. This is the best way to spend your money. Okay. And this is the I'm to the buy one. When it comes in Yabana, what year notice?
Yeah, last time Geshe and I were talking about this book that we found, in Geshe Kyazan Gyatso's book in the library. So this is a common area, if it's individually, it's up to oneself, whether you want to do it or not. But this is general in area of all the people, so we should not keep that. Because and then I mentioned to Geshe that one time Rinpoche, Lamazopa Rinpoche, I just asked him, and then because his books are the best. The English was so nice, so easy to understand, and so well written. And his teaching is like when he teaches in Tibetan, the translator will not miss anything or will not add anything. Cannot add. It's just two word at a time. So you can't miss and you can't add anything, right? So that's how good he is. It's really nice. And so I was using that a lot. That a lot of the time during my translation, I was using his book as a reference. It was really helpful, very easy for me. But then one time I talked to Lamazopa Rinpoche, and then he mentioned about the pollution. That you can get, for somebody who have a broken vow with his teacher. then like His Holiness is his teacher. So if he broke his vow with his teacher, then he get this pollution. And then if you even drink water from that person's hand, then you get that pollution also. And so therefore, there could be that kind of pollution, and therefore it's better not use this book. Same with this one here.
Okay,
It's better to make it clear so that we don't have hanging doubts in there. But you don't have to discuss or gossip about it.
Okay. Okay.
So like somebody who has broken their samaya or vows with their teachers like that, and if we make connection with those, then we get that pollution, and that can obstruct us, from gaining realization or knowledge from our teachers. So His Holiness said, if you don't listen to me, then we have broken our commitment. So then you better not come to listen to teachings from me. You better not come receive teaching from me, because then you will not gain any benefits, any realization from that, and it's harmful for both of us, so for the teacher and for the disciple.
That's
very important. It's the basis of all the realization comes from the Guru devotion, right? So if there is a pollution or broken vows between the teacher and the disciple, then that will screw up the whole thing. So it's very important. So also Rinpoche, like last time, and Kundalini Rinpoche mentioned so much about that, right?
Devotion. Okay. Okay.
We have the verses from Geshe Sopa. If you want to use them tonight, the first few verses.
Oh, that's good.
The first few stanzas. This is Geshe Sopa's
book. Okay.
book.
That's good.
That's the whole text, or just the?
I have the whole. That's the whole. I have the whole text. This is the appendix. Has the verses. The verses.
Okay.
This is the root verses.
So that you can buy that on online.
Yeah,
it's like ebook.
It's an ebook. I got the ebook from Wisdom. You can buy the hard copy. You can buy the ebook.
Ebook, yeah.
This is the ebook version from Wisdom Publications.
Oh, okay.
But you see, also you can, everyone really uses the
ebook.
Ebook, you can download.
The same price or different?
Ebook is less usually.
Is this the new publication by Wisdom, Geshe Sopa, Bob, we're talking about?
I don't know how new it is, but I just got it. So
Okay.
Geshe Sopa's come out this year. This year. Yeah, it's this year thing.
So that's Geshe Sopa's?
It's Geshe Sopa's book, yeah. It says Geshe Sopa's commentary, and then at the end it also has the root verses. Then it has the root verses in Sanskrit.
Yes. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Not talking about money. This is a very ugly to buy the Dharma book to talk ugly. What people talking, they think about others about. We're not that poor, right? Everyone have job. The people talk with different motivations. Better to those. 제가 가다 라이 받죠. 뭐지 좀 님바스한테 대니가 그랬어. 제가 전에 공청부터 이제 저 가래 되는 공주지 잡신 저기도 나 그놈한테 대니면 주사로.
This is the cover. So yeah, that's the one that Deborah sent me last time. Yeah. So also it's not be too stingy and spending money for the Dharma. And if you say, oh, what's the point of spending so much money for just that book like that? Then we heard the teaching from Rinpoche about Nyamba right? So the ugly guy, the disfigured ugly guy, who had such a beautiful voice like that, So because he said, oh, what's the use of building such a big stupa and spending so much money? What is the use of doing that? Because he said that, and then he was born with very ugly figure. So there's a negative karma like that. So when you are spending money on the Dharma, then you should not think like that.
Then there are more which is good, think for other people, but it's not good way to think that way. They will get the negative karma. Okay? Therefore, use that book, and also I'm sure Geshe will give very good commentary. And also I try to also I use another commentary also this question. You guys also read together, get more understand. Those like that, okay? Kantar the shit it Peshamata the dog money. Peshamat is my dog.
Yeah, Deborah is right about the hardcover is like $50, right? Almost $50. $50. The ebook is 33, so 34. Anyway, so Geshe said, to be good to use this book. That's a reference for the translation for the English. And then there's Geshe himself is not using this book, so he has a different book, Tibetan book, which is different. But of course, it's the same. The root text is the same. Root text cannot be different. That's the same one root text from by Nagarjuna, but the translation and the explanation, may be different. So the one that Geshe is using is called Lofun Shamba. Lofun Shamba.
Yeah.
So one of the chords that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They understand that.
So this is the Tibetan text that His Holiness used to give this teaching. Geshe now say he received this teaching from His Holiness, using that very book. So that's the one he's using to teach. His Holiness was using a very old book. Had a book that was very old, like torn a little bit, and he said, "Oh, because this is very old, but he's still using that because it has a great blessing. He received this teaching from such and such Lama, such and such Guru, like that." Yeah, of course, there's a big difference like that, right? So Geshe Tenley is going to use this, that book for himself to teach. But if you read, the book by Geshe Zoba, maybe you might gain more knowledge also from that. Usually, of course, it's a different way. Maybe there's more explanation, extensive explanation like that. But usually, it's the same.
Okay. Okay. Now we finish it. Finish another thing. Go much too many things. Discuss check on her. That's all that. Okay, that is that. That and the shitty day, Shadam, Pesh, mother travel. There's a matter. Monroe Carrigan, that Shadam Mumble to so in Bala, and the other church, so much as I wanted, and George take on Maris. Judging my so much of Jay.
So this the text written by Nagarjuna. Usually, when you write a text, there's like a the offering, right? So and then there's the promise to compose the text, things like that. So there's this part, but this one doesn't have that. It's just like a letter.
He gonna any Mumulu trouble, any Java Jabu Telea, for which they by Yitan, Church and sometimes was teaching the way.
And so it's just like a letter written to his friend a king, saying that, explaining to him what he should do, how he should think, what kind of practice he should do, and like that.
And ta Shadam Mumulu in the dark, Mumulu de Shadam, almost and the children they shash in the Gazea, and the children condition. I'm home at Chan Guma Zosu Jelaya, Changi, Jinju, I think never system is the condition.
Then during the time of Buddha Shakyamuni, one of his disciples asked him, what will happen if he passed away? Who will preserve his teachings?
And today, any such children, Nakashi and those I didn't have any room in the 뭐말이야 아니 뭐를 say this 아니 그 성을해서 올 때들이 와요.
And so that was this sutra called Lankashwara Sutra, and in that sutra, it mentions that there will be someone called Nagarjuna who will come in so many years after Buddha passed away, and then he will revive these teachings like that.
아니 뭐를 그때 다 계속 주니 나요 그래. 계속 좀 나요 다 이거 봐.
So there are like the great 8 pentateuch, like the 6 ornaments and 2 excellences. The 2 excellences are the Asanga and the Nagarjuna and the Asanga, and then the 6 ornaments, the 6 disciples of Nagarjuna and Asanga. So they're called the 8, the 2 excellences and 6 ornaments. So he's among them, and also he's among the 16 pentateuch.
남중나도 배에 용라라 아니 배가로 얘도 조님시고 말이나 대가라 짬으로 미치기야 아니 나가도 가보시면 다다도 찜도 줘야 돼.
Usually we just say the 6 ornament and 2 excellences like that, and just 8 teachers. But then His Holiness also added other scholars from Nalanda monastery, and then now he made it like 17 scholars.
그래 어디지 아니 대바지 다 아는 공부를 좀 산지 쫓는데요 아니 뭔가 좀 이제라야 아니 태워줄 때마다 그러면 양수가 있어요.
And so after Buddha passed away, then the teachings, Mahayana teachings, have degenerated quite a lot.
아니 대내 공부를 배는 야주시야 시대 소시에 가야 양발을 소지해요.
Then Nagarjuna later, so many years later, then Nagarjuna came, and then he revived the teachings, the Mahayana teachings.
아니 되게 아니 다 산지 좀 되게 변화 때봐 너무 때봐들이야 받쳐받쳐내야 아니 롱고네 산지 가 tumba이 받아서 받아가지고 또 끌리티 봐서 손을 끌리티 봐서
So
오늘
and then
롱고는 산지 같은 또 배우 산지 같은 톡도면 같은 주변에 다 빼셔야 돼 또 끌리티 봐서 돼.
And then later Nagarjuna composed this text called Sutra Samuchaya, and then that actually accords with the Buddha's Sutra.
아니 레베고니 들어가대 아니 다 싸워셔라 자기.
That's according to the scripture or the scriptural quotes by Buddha. And then according to the logic, then he composed this Zawashara. And then he composed the text known as the fundamental wisdom.
Then the
teachings, like Lamrim or the stages of the path, to enlightenment, it's called the precious garment.
대야 뒤지 도도로지 고대오지 정말 부모라 미리가 추워지는 남시여라 나다 시비 되게 세대 somebody.
And then something to benefits for lay people, especially for the lay people on their day-to-day life, how to make it positive and how to live a virtuous life. And then he gave this teaching called a letter to a friend.
Okay, 제가 네 나라 가르나 지난 기업성 개념에 오지 되네다 미자 공부서 이래저래 저런 거 토할까지 깨고요 남조까지 땡고요 성모까지 땡고요 이래저래 잘되신 거 다된 거는 이래저래 제고 그래서.
And so this one is like especially for lay people, right? So the practitioners, male and female, and what should you do? What should you think? How should you think on a day-to-day life?
Like
the things that we do in a day-to-day life, right? How do we, walk, or how do we eat, and so forth. And so this is a teaching for things that we do on a day-to-day life. So it's very, it's something that we can apply, to our activities that we do on our day-to-day life.
다이나 대투 교육을 가라야 아니 다 배를 놓아서 아니 진짜 잡이야나 야게나 빼셔들이야 되나 그래 배를 되나 그래서 And this was in Jutaji, and it's the Japan chapter, it's the
Then there is, of course, when it was translated from this text, Nagarjuna's text, into Tibetan, and then there's the homage by a translator, and then of course there's like a promise to compose, or to translate like that. So that kind of the things that they do when they compose the text. So later it was added, by the translators, but in the actual text itself, there's no, such kind of paying homage or making promise and so forth.
And then you couldn't
and so in the beginning of the text, usually, when you translate the text from India, from Indian language to the Tibetan language, or from the Sanskrit to Tibetan language, then they always put the title of the text in Indian language, and then it says in Indian language the title is called so and so, and then in Tibetan language it's called so and so. They say that during the time of the Buddha, there were like 4 major languages that's used in India at that time.
Do you know what it is? Okay.
Pali, Sanskrit, those are the only 2 I know.
Then
2 I'm out. I don't know any more than that.
okay.
Originally it was Pali.
Pali the Pachi Yamarashi
So that's
Sanskrit
it's like a local language. There's like the dialect, and then there was like they call it like cannibal language. Cannibal language, that's like a bad language, and then there was this language that was degenerating, and so there's the 4 languages like that. So then among these 4 languages, the best one is considered as the Sanskrit one is considered as the best language, and so that's the one that's used to teach the Dharma, and especially for the Mahayana Dharma, it's the Sanskrit language that's used.
Then
in the Theravadan or the Hinayana teachings is mostly in the Pali language. There's only the translation of this letter to a friend by Nagarjuna is available. If the original one that in the Sanskrit language is not available, they couldn't find it. Like in the commentary, the commentated translation of the Buddha's teachings, you can't find that. So there's Nalanda monastery, is the monastery where they preserve the teachings of the Buddha, or they revive the teachings of the Buddha, right? And of course now it's just the ruins, so you don't have anything. Everything was burned there. So most of the books that were written at that time, all the commentaries were written at that time in the Sanskrit language. This one is of course later translated into Tibetan language, right? But in the actual the Sanskrit language that was written was all burnt. So I mean most of them got lost.
So
that's why it's right at this time, in the current time, the only language that has all the teachings of the Buddha, both Sutra and Tantra, is Tibetan language only.
Everyone there. If you want to serious practice or learn, you need to learn Tibetan. You will only the language that. All this 다데 임지다 연만에 임자변을 찾아 연만에 간제 근데 주저로서 말았지 잠배를 찾아가 드리 말에.
So when it's translated, then it starts with the homage part. It says like the pay homage to Minjushri.
다데 다시 해도 주도 루이나 다데라 담보 된다 something 그래서 some.
So the whole teachings on the letter to a friend is categorized into three main categories.
아니 담보데 저랑기 아니 다 배전되가야 기바제죠. 근데 저랑 년초를 해서 지래. 티모데. 정말. 알 정말 맞.
이거 생기던 율기차 중기던 때들 저기던 이말
맞. 이 맞다 방인지 예치 쇼하는 살라 중고도 숨스. 살라 중고도 숨스. 담보 될 때라 서마 루면 다 대ten서 숨도.
So there's all all the teachings. I mean the whole text, is combined into these three categories.
담보데 저랑 담화데래 아니 기바제죠래 내가 저랑 예초래 얘나 야보래 잡으러 파는 거지.
The first part is persuading the king, whoever is listening, and especially because it's written to his friend king. So it's like persuading the king, saying that it's all right, to listen to this, in order to generate faith or respect, towards the instruction.
아니 대녀점을 다 아니 대녀조래 다 얘네 담방이들 가르가리면 남장군들 가리 맞.
And the second category is the actual instruction. So if it is all right, if it is worthy to listen to, and if it's all right to listen, then what is the instruction? What is the actual instruction that one listens?
가마데 저런 된 얌살라면 저런 캡서 남는 저버도 갈도 그래서 어떤 대서 하면 되기보다.
And the third category is the result, from practicing these instructions. So what kind of results, what kind of attainments you will gain if you do this, if you practice these instructions.
Okay. 다들 담보되네. 다들 년초를 해서 다들 년초 저런데 년초를 다 하세요. 근데 저런 같은 거 용도래.
And so now the first one, so is the first verse, it's talking about persuading, to listen to these teachings.
예. 단 특대되는 도와 예 대화를 어떻게나 데브러셔비 손이 레쇼비 손음들의 법이 이양다 추즈 그러면 추즈 지대 체제 셈비링세
I just bought it, but I don't know where to find it now.
You can buy all of that. It's not rush, okay?
Excuse me, Geshe. Can I ask you a question? Is
Yes.
this the book? Can you see that? Oh no, you can't see it.
She's not pointing it
It's-
towards the Geshe.
Yeah, you don't want the camera.
Yes, that's the Geshe's own one.
Is that the one? Nagarjuna?
Who's that translator?
Advice for Buddhists, with the commentary of Geshe Sopa. That's the one?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
one.
Thank you.
You can buy the hard copy, then we don't need a real book. They want a hard copy, everyone what's that, divide. Except Mark, you need to buy a book.
Hard copy.
Okay, go, okay. Yeah, you can buy hard copy, it's good. 제가 또 간 때부터 문에 이런 나랬다 야와 냠내지야 와. 니 고대고요 뭐야 보여래.
I figured it out later. It went to my work email, and then they're blocking. The access has been blocked for you.
I can read the verses if you
Yeah, can you read the verse? Yeah.
So the first verse It is right for someone naturally suited to virtue to study the short text that I have composed. These special verses will lead you to aspire to the virtues which arise from the teachings of the Sugata.
So in this first verse, there's like 5 categories.
And
then it's the first one is the person to whom it was taught. So it says someone who, what was the last first line? Naturally suited. Right? And so for someone naturally suited to
Virtue. Oh, it's kind of small.
Oh yeah, that's better. And so it's someone who naturally has this quality and to listen to. So it's referring to the king, right? And so so this is talking about the qualities of the king who has these qualities which makes him naturally suited to listen to these teachings. So usually the 3 qualities that's required for someone to receive the teaching, right?
Okay,
what are they?
Impartial.
Qualities to receive the teaching. Is that like the leaky vessel one?
No, not that one. Okay, Nika?
Well, accumulated.
Is it impartiality, the first one, non-partisan?
So yeah. So first one is the honest.
Honest to open mind. Okay.
Yeah, it's translated the Lam room as impartial.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what is the second one?
Second one. Oh, how about you guys? Zoom people. All licking. What's that? Licking
vessels.
Licky vessels. Remember?
Yeah, well, leaky vessels.
The long run mentioned that. The long run,
So like what kind of qualities that the teacher has to have, and what kind of qualities the student has to have.
No, the student.
The student has to have someone who is receiving the teaching.
Okay, remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's coming to me.
Okay, go ahead. Bob, can you thinking?
It's starting. I'm going through my files now in my mind.
The second one is intelligence, and the third one is diligence.
Okay, that's good.
Diligent, right? So the third one is the diligent, or someone who is making effort.
Okay, so
this is the quality that he's saying, that Nagarjuna is saying that the king has to receive the teaching.
Okay, Buddha give to
Buddha said, you cannot give teaching to certain people. So what kind of certain people you cannot give teaching to? Whom? Buddha said you cannot teach. To whom?
Would be the one where if there was someone like a leaky vessel or a dirty vessel, not done.
Leaky vessel, we're all leaky vessels.
Yeah.
You cannot teach someone with wearing that and carrying what? Carrying something? Weapons?
Oh.
Someone who's carrying weapons.
And not wearing shoes, right?
No.
No.
You have to teach.
How about you guys?
Have
you guys hear that?
Someone who's sitting, standing up, you cannot teach someone who is standing up. Someone
Is that literal or metaphor for someone who's arrogant?
Yeah. Monocolon cigar, monocolon cigar, monocolon, near the lunch over so give. But never know Kushabi, near the yeah, it's like arrogant, not so people who don't care or like that. But if someone's sick and then cannot stand up, of course you can teach. So if you're sitting like that, you cannot teach also. You cannot teach someone sitting like that.
Mike was asking about someone standing up, not the lying down one.
Yeah, stand up also coaching. Out of
arrogance, yeah. So if you have problems sitting down with a knee and something and you have to stand up, then you can teach also.
Okay. Low zone about the open mind. There is another trouble, the teaching machine. Low lodge, I mean, teaching the Jota second Savannah, Shetron Morris. Nicola Taji was some teleshetron, but Penka, she would have pent over.
Open-minded or usually the honest, right? They use the translation of the word honest. It's like very, sincere, not having like, oh, I want to listen to him because I want to find fault in him. Let me see what the wrong things he's talking about. I want to find that out, then I want to point it, and then I want to debate with him, like that, with that kind of mind. So that's what it means, like honest. And also intelligent. It's the second one. That's like someone who doesn't have the intelligence to figure out what is good or what is bad like that. And someone who is not diligent or someone who doesn't have an interest. So if you have an interest, then you'll make the effort, right? So then you become diligent. If you don't have the interest, to listen to the teachings, then it's no point teaching to that kind of person. So usually it's said that Buddha's teaching it can be taught to only someone who has really strong interest to learn about it. And then also when you're listening to the teaching, you have to listen with the delighted mind. So like you have to look in with a delightful eye, and then you have to show a smiling expression when you're listening to the teaching. So that shows, that expression shows that you have an interest. When you're not interested in listening, but you have to listen, then you just show this expression. What kind of expression do you show? You don't want to listen, but you have to be there to listen, like you're forced to listen. Right? So that kind of thing, that kind of expression. If you see that kind of expression, then you should not teach to that kind of person. So this is for a valid, like very fully qualified teacher, with a fully qualified disciple. So then, if you have those kind of things, then you really get the benefits, from the teaching. Otherwise, maybe just go there and maybe listen, and then you leave some imprint. So in our case, it's like that. Just go there, so listen to it, even if we don't know, even if we want or not, but just listen so that we can leave some imprint in our mind. Okay. And so it is right for someone naturally suited to virtue to study these short texts that I have composed. So it's this referring to the king, saying that you have all this quality, to listen to this teaching. And then so this I have like composed that I have composed this special verse will lead you to aspire to the virtue. So I will lead, so I have composed this special, So what I'm going to teach, so it's like Nagarjuna said, what I'm going to teach, is the teaching that came from a Buddha. It's like a Tathagata who have gone to the bliss.
Okay. That's all. Sula shegi, sui shegi, kari shegi the
So it says who is going to teach, who is going to be taught to, and who is going to teach it, and what is he going to teach? Right? So he's going to teach, like there it says, which arise from the teachings of the Sugata. So he's going to teach something that came from Buddha. The Sugata is Buddha, right?
다 대단한 카르나 아니 멘토도 멜레고 공부 토비하니까 다 남답시 최선 팀으로 요하자 되게 사직의 송 님보든 게 정식이 있어.
So this special verse will lead you to aspire to the virtue which arise from the teachings of the Sugata. So this teachings of the Sugata includes the whole teachings on how to achieve the higher state of rebirth and definite goodness, or the state of liberation or enlightenment. So, so the whole teaching on how to achieve that, is taught by the Sugata, and that's what I'm going to teach.
아니 가르치는 사람은 아니 손음 싸우지 아랑게 손음 싸워 되고 저랑게 손음 싸워 마음에 아니 산책이 지지소 손음 싸우지 시기 있어 가르치는 거 봐그래 어디 책시는 손음 들렸어.
This special verse will lead you to aspire to the virtue. So it's why he's going to teach. Why he's teaching is this is in order to aspire to the virtue, or in order to accumulate merit. And so in order to accumulate merit, for oneself and for others, I'm going to teach this.
아니 시에다가 있는 아니 지금 법이 이하다 되면 거기까지 특제다 되고 속에 살아는데 지금 못 하시더래. 내가도 다시.
So then the how I'm going to teach, it says 특제는 만도 참아.
나는 법이 이하다 되면 특제다 아니 주제 대화 제보해 봤지. 저나 림보지나 저나 제보처럼 주제해 봐야자. 이 디디지는 시기 대처럼 그 예 초월이 이나 리그레스 다 도도시는.
Yeah, so this and special verses, so like and so this like what about the Yulmi the Penola? It is hard for someone naturally suited to virtue to study this short text that I have composed. This special verse will lead you to arise, which arise from the teachings of this Not the exact translation there. I can't find it. But anyway. So it's first line is talking about the quality, of the king, who have this quality to listen to, and what he's going to teach, is the teachings, that arise from the Sugata, and why he's teaching is in order to accumulate merit, and how he's going to teach is in verses. And it's called here it says in the superior verses, superior melodies, superior melodies. And which means like in a very melodious, or like something very pleasant to listen to, like that, in that way. And like in verses, like when you read the rhyme in the verses, then it becomes very pleasant and melodious and pleasant to listen to. So like that. And so I can't go in extensive because extensively I can't explain in extensive because the king, you don't have the time. So I'm going to explain it short, in a short. And so this, you can listen to. It will be good for you to listen to.
Okay, how many categories?
So how many categories do you see there? How many sections?
In that first verse?
Yeah, in that first verse, yeah.
Okay, who's going to share that solution?
Who is he teaching to?
Okay. Shenge sore.
Who is teaching?
Kare shegre.
What is he teaching?
Who's teaching?
Who is teaching?
Okay. Shetan kare shegre.
How is he teaching? In what way? In what manner?
Mar guba kare shegre.
Why is he teaching?
Merit who?
For
King
Nagarjuna
Nagarjuna himself. King also of the future the disciples. Not only that. You need to be a little bigger, okay? And the Shetan kare shegre.
and how is he teaching? In verses.
아니 제대가 되게 되시겠어요.
And what is the length of the teaching? How is he teaching in extensive?
Know it's a king.
Sure.
I'm reading that.
어?
How do you know it's a king?
지는데
Short.
킹코라가 이게 또 아니었어. 뭔가를 지나가 두고 얘기도 아니었어.
Because this is the letter to a friend, and the friend is the king.
Right?
No, it doesn't mention here in the verse.
Okay. All right.
뒤집어진 완전 말하죠.
주제도 가는 공부를 내 얘기도 공부를 그런 거 두고 대보지를 봐 이게 또 아니었어. 이게 또 아니었어.
So this is a letter written to his friend, the king.
Okay?
Indira Buddhi, maybe?
Hmm?
Is it Indira Buddhi?
Indra Buddhi, yeah.
네?
Indra Buddhi.
근데 다 셰다한테 가르치거든. 네 드시는 시간에서.
And then in what length he's teaching? It's like in a short length.
Why?
Why?
The king's busy and he can only teach them shortly.
Like us. Okay? Okay. 내 거를 하고 있는 것도 배우고 대전에 정하시 조정하시. 예 조언이 나 레그를 해서 하는 거야.
And so that kind of teaching you can listen to. So yeah. It's right for someone natural to virtue to study these short words that I have composed. These special words will lead you to the spite of the virtue which arises from Buddha's teaching. Yeah, so it doesn't say you can listen to, right? Yeah. Sempre.
다 듣는 쇼로가 다 니빠디 가는 다 지금 세우는 저런 것들 제수 제야 말다스. 보시고다. 저한테 지금 세우면 이제 제수 제야 말이었어.
And then the second part, first one is that so persuading like that, to listen to the teaching. So because for that reason you can listen to, means that is persuading to listen to. And then then the second part, it says that even if it's not very beautiful words, not like beautiful, but what do you say, like not composed in really well, and even though even though it's not very pleasant to listen to, but you should not look down on that. You should not ignore it.
그래서 나 지나도 내가 지금 내가 가는 야갈라야 루슬라야 냥아 개바 못 어떻게 된대 주지 냥아라 란도 주지 잡아도 되는 뭐 그냥 그래서 와.
So like it's not like a poem, but the poems are very pleasant to listen to, like that, very beautiful words and pleasant to listen to. So he said even if it's not like that, you should not ignore it because this is teaching of the Buddha. But anyway, so in those days, in India, like the kings, will call the what do you call that, poetry? Or what is the person? What is it?
Poet.
Poets. They will call the poets, and then ask them to, read their poems.
제가 들리다 저한테 냥아이 저도 잡고 그러더니 뭐 뭐래 제가 잡고 저 들려서 마다스 내 특대고 야고샤요 말이지.
So it's not like a very pleasant poem. The words in here is not like the poems.
Okay, 답변 나스 다들 답변 빼셔도 말씀 거다. 저다 대셔 그 실내장 집에 전다 좀데 개변촉 대셔 다가 냥아 등이야 암추줘라. 네, 텔레 멤버지스 답변 자샤나를.
And so then he said, like, even though the words are not beautiful, you cannot ignore them or you cannot look scorn them. And so then that he explains with examples. So that's the second verse. It says,
So it's a different order. So the second two lines are this. Likewise, this poetry of mine may be poor, but do not scorn it, for it expresses the holy Dharma. And then actually the first two lines is the wise venerate statues of Sugata matter, their quality, even those made of wood.
Yes. Yeah. So
In different order, but
yeah, so that's actually, the wise venerate the statue of brothers. So that they should go so yeah. No matter their quality, even those made of wood. Yeah. So that's a good, so actually, in Tibetan, it will be the first line, will be the second line, will be the first line, and then the first line will be the second line. So no matter their quality, even those made of the wood, the wise will venerate the statue of the Buddha.
산지 그 세다 이다 도다 그래서는 소재기 잘라 가리지는 말이야. 산지 그에서 맞으면 기심시 쪽으로 와서 빼대나지.
It's like what's this poetry of mine may be poor, but do not scorn it, for it expresses the holy Dharma. So like, the statue of the Buddha can be made of anything, right? Can be made of a wood, can be made of a stone, or metal, like a gold, silver, and so forth.
제가 좀 놀랍지는 거예요. 산지 꼭 가리지는 때려야 기심적으로 해서 되는 거야.
And so like in the advice, of the refuge, in their advice, to what to do in the refuge, like you should, respect all the Buddha statue, no matter what it's made of, whether it's made of a stone, mud, or, like a wood, or, gold, you should look all, in the same way.
근데 다 대저 다가 냥은 등해야 냥은 여보 매고 있나요? 네 제자들 가르리 아니 냥도도 내래 토비하고 탑 아니 산지가 송에서 되는 기십적으로 해서.
And this is likewise, this poetry of mine may be poor, but do not scorn it, for it expresses the holy Dharma. The holy Dharma that teaches about how to achieve and highest rebirth and the definite goodness.
Okay, 제가 다 담볼 되지. It's good, right? Good. It's okay. 뭐다 되게 잘하죠. 담보자는 예 주고비스. 이번처럼 그때는 막히거든 제요. 말했을라고.
And so the first one, he said, in the first verse, he said, we can listen to that. It's good to listen to that. And then second verse, he says, you should not disrespect that.
다 되는 쇼로 가서마디 아 지나 잡보래. 지나 유대 잡보 요래다 있나요? 지나 년바이나 지나 캡상마지 중앙으로 말해서 빼셔야 돼.
And then in the third verse, he's saying that you are very knowledgeable person, you already have or you have already heard this, maybe studied this or know about it already, but still it's worthwhile to listen to it again.
다 빼나 다 지나 대화치 못 갔네. 얘기 지나가 산지 좀 된데 같은 마음보 저는 안좀 고사래 지나 냠내 요래서 내가 자 도바메스 제지 특수 쳐야 네. So
then it's saying that, like the third verse, right? The words of the great sage are exquisite, and even if you have understood them, doesn't something made of white plaster become even whiter in winter moonlight? So he's saying that you have already listened to Buddha's teaching a lot, and you know about them already. There's no doubt about that.
Okay. 이해봐야나야 지난기 되게 냠내대 파세오요와 때모요 되게 그래서 배차샤와이나 칸바카보지 소이바나 되거나 본다 나와카보샤는 까보딩가 까보 야요 그때나지래서.
So, but if you listen to it again, then it increases your knowledge even more, more than what you already know. It increases even more. So just like a whitewashed house. It's very white, but then if you look in the night, when there's a full moon shines on it, and it looks even whiter, just like that.
Okay, 다 되게 합체 담보 지나가 년초로 해서 세대 때려와 봐. 근데 다 니빠다 다 담방인지로 맞췄다 잡아. 다 지금 당미신 문제도 많이 거다.
So the first one is persuading to listen, saying that in order to develop respect towards the teaching, and then that's the whole thing about the first verse, second verse, third verse only, and then the actual instruction is coming down.
Okay, 다들 나도 가라고서 다들 오늘 니네 거기서 대 약보지도 못 말하고 진짜 지나서 나서 그들 못 챙기잖아. 주소 찔라. So this is
just like it says here. You should apply into practice. You should always think like that. Listen to the teachings, and because it's Buddha's teachings, therefore you should listen to it. And you can listen even if you have, even if you have already listened, or even if you have already learned about it. And so you have to do this just like it says here. Just like you mentioned about Rinpoche's teaching, right? When he said, you have to do this and this, to purify, and then you do, like for 1 hour, I'm not going to do that. So you promise, to not do that. So you apply that, the four powers to purify the negativity. So that's very good, like that.
Okay.
So what did you learn in these 3 verses?
Where you got something? Okay, Mark, where you got it?
Well, I don't want to be redundant, but it's like you said, like any kind of Dharma, every time you can read it 1,000 times, and each time you're going to have a more subtle understanding.
Yeah. Here also they
Said
mentioned
that
that.
already.
Then, we got Jennifer.
What I learned specifically about whether the 5
Yeah, when I
first.
You
have this thing already, right? I mean, you know about these things already, right? So by listening to this today, additionally, what did you learn? What became more clear to you today?
Okay, cheers. Rika?
Nagarjuna's today's teaching from Nagarjuna's background and the first verse was so clear. There are many meanings inside the way that who is writing, who's writing to, what's why the teaching, and the second verse is humility. And then the third verse is that even just say, don't say that it gets better, like more listening. That's the white getting whiter, the moonlight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, our mother.
First, I think he's talking about making the teachings clearer, correct?
Yeah, even you hear, you get even more clear. Okay, well,
All these things, but
same.
a lot of it, yeah, but a lot of it, just hearing it again makes it a little bit, the impression becomes stronger each time I hear it.
Okay. Jennifer, you tell us?
Also, as Rika mentioned, the Nagarjuna's modesty in saying that even, this isn't, don't scorn it, even if it's not like great poetry, of course, he's a master, but very, very modest.
Yeah, how are you guys?
Oh, hi. Sorry. I have a question about, you mentioned what a quality to receive the teaching. I think first of all, the motivation is very important too, right? I mean, you need to achieve your motivation. And since this is later to the king, I don't know what's the story behind. Maybe I missed some point, but I don't know what type of motivation. But this is like to the king is have some give us some like good reference then for us to learn as well. But as Rinpoche mentioned, that is like small scope, middle scope, and also great scope, then you have kind of different type of motivation. And then you have the type of motivation, of course, you will adjust your motivation, and then you will work hard diligently to, to receive the teaching with the kind of right attitude. So, and of course, and every time we listen to the teaching, even for the very simple, for the first and second phrases, and we still, no, sorry, he tried to see me.
The camera.
So, even it's simple, but it's still because we tried to apply those concepts to our practice. So we couldn't remember everything at all at once. So it is very important, like Laring, then some students, they are doing this for 10 years, like 3 runs, and it's still because you tried to get the concept firstly and apply. So really take a really long time to do it. So it's always worthwhile to review and reflect and make it like a gene of yourself, too. That's how I feel. Mm.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, Geshe-la, I what struck me most about the first verse, the first paragraph, is that that Nagarjuna has composed this letter for those with many good virtues who are fit for listening. So it seems like there's a prerequisite that you have to have those good qualities to be able to receive the teaching. So you have to be a fit vessel to receive the teaching.
Okay.
Mm.
That's good. Anything else?
The rest is quite similar to what others have said. But that one stood out to me most. Yeah.
When he said he wasn't poetic, it's good. Sometimes people don't express things eloquently, but it's the essence that matters, not the way, like in a lot of things in life, people look more away from the essence, where you should look at the essence and not the, like when you have a gift, it could be a poorly wrapped, but it could be a big diamond, or you have like a really crappy gift, but oh, it's like very fancy bows, and I want the one with I want the diamond, not
오케이. 다 예선은 대신에 가서 보나. 대충 대 고말로야. 내가 가서 님마다 손님 쌓입니다. 만들기 보니 공부를 쏘면 돼. 로조 시가지는 거라. 손님 제수 가고 거를 때 계산하는 거지. 양 가서 님마다 내려고 말이야. 수준거네. 앞에한테 로조 시가지는 뭐는 가와서 뭐 이사반은 양 수준 겨도.
So ask Chidanaga.
시당에.
So you should also like rejoice in this opportunity, to study this text by Nagarjuna. So if you rejoice that, then you also, just by rejoicing, you accumulate virtue, in addition.
이게 담보는 somebody 있다. 줄로가 담보되는 거. 근데 니바데나 담보는 가지고 사지가 고속도 간다다. 기십제고 근데 와서 내고 근데 와서.
So first one, the first verse, you have to rejoice, and the second verse, you have to respect any kind of statue of the Buddha.
아니, 다 somebody 대나서도 그냥 가지고 사지가 좀 가리나 이건데 이 안에 두 번째 거는 내가 쳐버려도 오사. 되지 뭐야.
Third one is, you have to listen to it again and again. Teaching of the Buddha, you should listen or you should study again and again. That's very important.
제사는 지금 보지 담보 자체 또 만다들세. 만보도 되는 저 강간 저거 도.
So just like the Lama Tsongkhapa said, first study extensively, strive to study extensively. So that one, is very similar to this, right? So it's like you have to study from many, and you have to study a lot, many times, from many like that.
Okay. Okay. Any questions? Yes.
This king, I'm wondering, this king is the same king that the Nagarjuna wrote for the Buddha Shakyamuni?
Not sure.
No, meet there. Don't meet there.
We have to find out.
I don't know.
Geshe say he's not sure.
Yes.
I had this book before this teaching, and I just want to check if this has a bad karma, because it's the commentary of Kangyu Rinpoche. He passed away a long time ago, 1975. He passed away.
Oh.
I don't know who that.
I think he's from Kaju lineage.
No, Kanju. Kanju.
Kanju.
Yeah, it's all. This text is kind of Kanju. You must tell me you know.
Right. So yeah, you can have that. I mean, there's many different teachers, so it's okay. Yeah.
But that's
Not somebody who who we know against His Holiness. But if it's somebody, you know, like who went against His Holiness, then we all know it generally. But you know, if it's like individual somebody, you know, then we don't have to.
His translation group
Padmakara, yeah.
That's okay.
So that's
okay.
that's okay. I think that's
Okay, I don't know.
that's one of the other book that Deborah mentioned, right?
Yeah.
No, there was the
It seems
Padmakara.
that your translation, they flipped. This wasn't flipped.
That one is line by
And
line.
they have it together.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, Padmakara, yeah, that one is good too. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, if you don't have questions, some homework, okay? More little, yeah. You know, you did the demo language as a candidate. You did also get was it, more little, what Jabul Kaja language.
So, can you read the first verse in that book? What is it?
Listen now to these few lines of noble song that I've composed for those with many virtues fit for good, to help them yearn for merit springing from the scared words of he who gongs the blue.
There also that doesn't have.
Oh, sacred. Yeah, sacred. Sorry. The
What's the second line?
second one is the wise will always
No, the second line. Sorry, first
Second
verse,
line.
second line, first verse.
that I compose for those with many virtues.
Yeah, I've many virtues.
Many virtues, yeah.
Gyoma. Yende ranshi gyehosa.
Rete rancha kiwa kaje jabola chanala yende rancha kiwa da tenga jabu jine kise kares.
With many virtues, what is it?
The second line of the first verse that I compose for those with many virtues fit for good.
Yeah. Why did the Nagarjuna say with many virtues? Why didn't the Nagarjuna say to the king that he is with many virtues? Yeah, so he's with many virtues, right? So someone with many virtues who is fit to listen to this teaching, right? So why did he say, you know, that he has many virtues?
This is the question, okay?
I think
Why did Nagarjuna say the king has many virtues?
Because he's in charge of the king, maybe he, you know, and also say something good to him. He will be listening.
You need to bring next week. You need to answer the next week, okay? And then anybody kaji decision,
Why did he explain in short?
Because Ken is very busy. Yeah, also I have a question, Geshe. Sorry. I have a question. Since he says that this is a letter to the king, he's very busy and try to make him understand, right? Digest in a very short time. But why did he put the face first? Why don't you put the result first?
Okay? There's your homework.
It's homework.
These are the homework
This is
questions.
homework question, okay? Next week. You got it, right? Okay? 아니, 간박 가고 가라야. 나가 보지나 가보 연구를 했어.
So on the White House, if the moonlight shines on the White House, does it become even whiter?
Is this an epistemology?
This is not the question, sir. Just ask.
Even whiter?
Does it become whiter?
It appears whiter.
It
It's more luminescent.
네, 가보 많던. 가보 썰었던 거예요.
Because
Is this
it's
a homework
vibrant.
question?
You can't see the dirt anymore because it's just moonlight.
Is this a
So
homework
you just see
question?
the white part.
Just like, that's not a question.
It's dark outside,
Uh-huh.
so the moonlight will make it look brighter because you can't see anything else
So
around it.
that white that you see, the white that you see with the moonlight, is it whiter than the white that you see in the sunlight? No.
It's just the way it appears to your eyes.
So compared to the sunlight, it's not that white. Right. Is it? 你们搞不通了，现在对了，咱到一个我得搞马桶是我了，或者。So this is what saying, like here what he's saying is that with the moonlight, you see the White House even whiter than the white you see in the sunlight. Whiter than the white in the sunlight. Is it like that?
There's one more question, okay? Serious question.
That's a homework question?
That's a big reason, okay? Read another commentary. Maybe you'll find.
Conscious?
Huh?
Because the moon's a different part of your mind. The sun is the concentration, the moon is the subconscious mind.
So just like the White House sees whiter, appears whiter with the moonlight, right? And with more repetition of learning, you increase the knowledge. Your knowledge becomes even bigger. So Geshe is going to go through this, explanation as short as possible. I'm not going to go into very detailed explanation. And so the book that you're going to get, maybe, whichever book that you're going to get, if that book may explain in different ways and different order or in different way. And so they say, you explain this way, but this book explains in this way. What is the difference? You can discuss about that.
Discussion, okay? But discussion is more clear. Okay? How about that?
Perfect. I like it when we have a little debate discussion.
Okay?
That's just simple.
Yeah. I'm going to come to Jagadaya. Okay, we are finished. Okay, now we stop, okay?
Page 39.
Okay, there?
Oh, yeah.
She's adding there. Okay, yeah.
For my two collections, vast mistakes that I have amassed in working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom lies blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my life's contribution. May I find the best to complete greater paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the paths of right discernment. May I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I reel this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted by his peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this great course to enlightenment completed due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhists. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold manner virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may the oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. In that snow mountain encircled land, so solemn every and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chen remain in life till samsara's end. Savior, the snowman teachings and transmigratory beings, who extensively clarifies the path of unified happiness and compassion, the lotus in the hand, Lord Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, May all your holy wishes be fulfilled. Page 49. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and strengthening Ajahn victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please return swiftly. Page 57. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha state, place each and every sanctuary, without exception, in that state. Precious supreme Bodhi mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. 75.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Good night. Have a good day.
Good night.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you, Tamsho. Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you.